to carry on from there now, the relationship between the executive and the legislature is surprisingly for a lot of people is really bad. I mean, the APC has a majority in both houses, the executive. It seemed like it would be a good ride for them. Probably went sour when their candidates or the executives, alleged candidates for the principal offices in both houses didn't pull through. We've seen a bit of, if I may use the word arrogance, you know, especially with, like you said, Honorable Jibrin and the Minister of Transport. We're hearing what's been traded and all of that, and it looks like that shouldn't be happening, especially from people in the same party. What are the liaison officers doing? Should we blame them? Should we blame the executive, like he said?
Basically, I will still blame the executive because they have enormous powers and they get the glory of whatever good
comes out
of any government.
Economy, yeah.
And so if any bad is also coming out, they should also get the blame, the chunk of the blame. The fact is, the liaison officers are more or less appointees. Let's just face the fact. The fact is that in as much as the executive cannot put its house in order, things will always go bad. In politics, there's something they call permutations. They can always come together and go to negotiating table, and Nigerians are suffering. What can we do? Let's forget whether we don't like ourselves. You got there on a platter of the party or not, or some other interest and so on. But let this government, or this, let our people enjoy this government a little bit. In factual sense, Nigerians have not enjoyed this government, and 1 year is gone. And to me, they have just 2 years, because the third year is going to be more or less like a campaign year. So, where's the change? The government needs to put its house in order. Without this budget, I'm so sorry, the president cannot do anything. And I am seeing it as an orchestrated move. Since you don't like us, from legislators, since you don't like us, or you don't want this to be there, or you don't like so person's face, you also will not enjoy your own office. Meanwhile, when you don't enjoy your office, you will not be able to perform. When you don't perform, the people will be turned against you. So we're having a bad day, you're also not having a bad day. So let's go back to the polls and see whether we're going to get re-elected. Yeah. So basically, the executive will still get the bad name out of all what's happening. And if the executive scales through, they'll still get the glory. So I think they should go back to the negotiating table and they should forget about all interest. Or, for now, let us leave a little bit of corruption. The corruption should still ride the horse it has been riding. I'm not saying that they should just throw it away. But the focus should now go on the economy.
Because it's very important.
The dollar rose
it's very important.
Some couple of days again. It rose. Bank rates, I'm telling you, because I checked the pounds. Food items in the market has gone up. People are suffering. There's no light, there's power, fuel, everything. So they should face what we enjoy day to day. Because nobody, whether it is Saraki or it is Dogara, the market woman don't even know who Saraki is. But when she gets home, she's not seeing power. That's what she knows. Mr.
President did say, I think he met with both the Senate President and the Speaker. We're hoping this week might be the last week of drama for the budget.
Let's hope so.
I don't know that he has any more trips to take on this week, so maybe he should be around and things will get sorted. But let's talk more about something you mentioned there, fuel. It's April, almost May. I don't think we've had fuel this year, pretty much. It's been probably a 2-day break in between every other 2 weeks. And it's been quite intense, and you're talking about the executive looking good or bad. That is one place where they're looking definitely bad.
Well, when Kachiku announced in December that we are going to have a price modulation, and also we are going to see a direct sales. That's the NNPC becoming involved in the lifting of crude and also refining and bringing in. You know, previous government involved themselves in a crude swap, whereby companies take crude and refine and bring in. You know, but the President Buhari felt that crude swap was enmeshed in a lot of corruption, so he decided to go through direct sales, giving NNPC almost 90% facility to bring in fuel from. So an NNPC does not have the capacity, and also worsened, compounded with the forex scarcity. You know, it made their case very worse. You know, in the past 2 weeks, for them to have promised us that it's going to end in May, is because they've brought in some marketers to actually come in and bring in fuel, and also liaise with some oil companies that do have.
Is this ending in May, or is this slowing down? Because we've had promises in the past.
Well, we are not yet in May. They said in May.
Because we're supposed to end April 7th.
Well,
I remember that last promise.
Well, I hold on to the May one because, you know, we are coming to the end of April and we are still having a lot of queues, you know. So it's really a bad deal for this government to be having, and we hear that we may, though it's still in the grapevine, but we are going to maybe have a little price increase. We don't know, but we heard in the news reports a few weeks ago that they pay some subsidies. So we don't even know the regime the government is trying to operate.
Yes.
But we are hoping that in come May, the whole issue would have been put behind us and let's have fuel. Because number one, there's no fuel. Number two, the Focados gas pipeline is blown up and we don't have gas to power our electricity. I mean, substations or whatever. But you go to buy fuel, they tell you can't buy in jerry cans. You know, so is making it a lot of difficult for entrepreneurs, for families, for households, you know. So the government has to just intervene in one sector. Let's just, you know, it's quite hell for Nigerians beginning of January.
But Kayode, we've heard from the Minister of State for Petroleum that a lot of refineries are now working, but they would need $700 million, if I'm correct, for them to run in full capacity. So at least there's some progress being made. Like you said, the imports are probably getting better. Refineries are working, sort of. There was a rumor during the week that he was removed from the NNPC position, which turned out to be a lie. People have said maybe that should happen so that he can focus on his role as Minister of Petroleum, or Minister of State for Petroleum. Is the future looking bright, at least in that sector?
The future is not looking bright, with all due respect. Before we are going to enjoy 100% flow of petroleum products in Nigeria, our refineries must work, either private or public. Personally, I believe the government should sell the refineries, at least, probably about 60% stake or about 55% or thereabouts, a little bit above 50%. And private guys should move in. The government should be more of a regulator than an operator. Kachukwu, the Minister of State and the NNPC boss, gave us a professional statement about a month ago or thereabouts. We complained that he abused our sensibilities and the likes like that. And he now said, okay, I'm sorry, April 7th or so. The second statement was a political statement. When he said, okay, you want something? Fine. Somebody was telling me that I will soon have fuel like in 2 weeks, and I said, forget about it, we won't have, it will be coming and going. And that's what we're experiencing, because as a professional, he told us what we should expect. Even that May is somehow shaky. But we wanted fuel at all costs, and he gave us another statement that we are too expectant. The government should sell. When the government sells, Dangote is coming up with his own, and some other investors, there will be what I call like, there won't be a monopolistic market again in Nigeria. So if Dangote is not giving us a good deal, we can also move to the next company and the likes like that. Things will improve. We'll even be able to do export. But in as much as we are still importing fuel into this country and we have issues with Forex, we'll still it's going to be like a merry-go-round. That's my own opinion about it.
Yeah.